what's the point anymore? What is the point as fans of getting excited for something new, something different, something we've been asking for, showing up for it, letting them know that we want to see more, and then they still end up canceling it? This is going to be a rant. I'm just going to warn you, this is going to be a flat out rant. I don't know where I'm going to go with this, but we're going to go down the rabbit hole together. So this is an exclusive from Variety. I just saw this about an hour ago, and I was trying to figure out how I wanted to address this because I liked Dead Boy Detectives. I talked about it in a couple of podcasts. I said the show was different. It was unique. It wasn't going to be for everybody, but we keep asking as fans for them to give us something other than cape shit. And when they do it, when they give us something unique from the comics that isn't that, it seems like we have to go above and beyond to show them that we're interested in it. Like being in the top 5 isn't even enough anymore. It's not enough. And Netflix used to be the bastion of like creator-driven content. And now they're treating shows the same way the network TV shows are treated, and they're using antiquated systems. And holy shit, I'm so over it. I'm so over these shows having to compete. Not only was Dead Boy Detectives competing against things like Love Island and 90 Day Fiancé and all of these other really just mindless background noise shows that seem to eat up the top 10 list, but it was competing against the new situation over at DC. So it was always going to be a battle for this series. Always. Once Doom Patrol was gone and I saw they were trying to like sort of connect this with Sandman, I thought we had a potential for the show to continue. And before we talk about the reception online, we're going to read a portion from this article in Variety. I'm not going to read the whole thing. I'm going to paraphrase here what is said. So it says the show opened well, remaining in the top 10 charts for 3 weeks after it's released. So it was in the top 10 charts for 3 weeks, almost a month after it came out. And it peaked at the number 2 spot. So it was almost number 1 the week of April 22nd through 28th. 3.1 million views in the first 3 days of availability, and Netflix defines a view as total series runtime, meaning all the episodes, divided by total hours viewed. That's how they do it. It dropped to number 3 in its first full week of availability, but it rose in total views to 4.7 million, which means there was just something else that was really popular at that time that beat it out. But 4.7, and it was either second or third in its first 3 weeks. It dropped to 1.8 million views in week 3, and then eventually by the end of the month, it fell out of the top 10 chart. So this was a top 5 show for 3 weeks. It was even in the top 2. So if you're going by that metric, that would tell me that people were watching it, they were liking it, and it probably deserved to get a season 2. But now you can't even be in the top 5 and guarantee a second season, which baffles me. Like, then what the fuck are we judging the shows on? I read through the article and I didn't see any studio interference. I didn't see any stuff in there. They may have updated it since then, but when I read it, it wasn't like James Gunn waved his hand and said, you have to cancel the show or whatever. There's nothing like that. And again, I know that this show was going uphill anyway because of all the drama that was going on with the studio. I get that. I understand that. However, it doesn't seem like this show was super expensive to make. It doesn't seem like it was very difficult to make. It was a very straightforward show. Great storytelling, great characters. Absolutely mind-blowing to me. So you mean to tell me that we can come out, we can show up and get a show into the top 5, get it into the top 2, for an entire month it's in the top 10, and that's still not enough for a show to continue? There has to be something else going on with this. There has to be. Because I looked through and a lot of people would say, oh, well, what about the critical reception, all that stuff or whatever. So let's start out with IGN. IGN gave it, I think, a little over a 6. So it was over the halfway point. It was like a 6 point something at IGN, I believe. I lost that tab. Metacritic here gave it a 65 with the user score being 7.2. Still not a bad score. And then if you look at the most popular metric, which is Rotten Tomatoes, it had a 92% critic score and a 90% fan score. So you look at some of the other shows that have been canceled and you'll see them like in the 20s, 30s, sometimes down lower than that. And you go, okay, even if that's manipulated, it doesn't look good. It looks bad for the shows because of the way that people view the validity of something like Rotten Tomatoes, which I don't, but I just wanted to point it out to be comprehensive here. So a well-received show. I didn't see anybody talking negatively about it on social media to any large degree. Top 10 show for the month that it was released. Top 2 for at least 1 week of its release. What are we doing, Netflix? I don't understand this. What is the point of getting invested into a show as a fan? Something unique, something different, something fun, something that performs well, something that everybody's talking about, which means that it probably would have led to a bump in the second season because people that love the show would have told their friends, hey, go back and watch the first season before the second season comes out because it was really good. Really, really good. Go check it out. It would have probably picked up some viewers that way. Or at the very least, it would have stayed the same, which seemed to be pretty solid for their month that they were released. I don't know anymore. I am completely and utterly baffled by this. And it makes me wonder, was it because the show was seen as quote unquote woke? Was that why? Is it because they're worried about the negativity surrounding properties that showcase diverse characters? Is that why Netflix canceled it? I'm not sure. Again, I did some digging around. It seems like right now, according to the Variety article, there's not a lot known about it being canceled other than they're just not renewing it for a second season. I'm sure we'll get more information as this comes out. We'll talk about it again, on a live stream, because I'm just baffled. I am baffled that we beg and beg and beg for them to give us something like this. They do it. We turn out for it. It gets good numbers, and then it's gone. Gets good reception, critical reception, and then it's gone. I don't know. I'm curious. Anybody who's watching this video in the comment section, please tell me what you think about this. Were you watching the show? Were you not watching it? If you weren't watching it, tell me what it was, the reason why. Was it just the supernatural element of it? You weren't interested in that? You didn't know about it? You didn't like the introduction of these characters on Doom Patrol? Let me know what it was that you didn't like about it. I'm really curious to know what people were thinking about it if you didn't tune in. And if you did tune in to watch it, what did you think of it? And are you shocked that it's not getting a second season? Because I'm actually baffled. I thought for sure after watching that first season that this was one of those shows that would get a reprieve from all of the drama behind the scenes. It would get a reprieve and continue on to give us something unique and different in this world of the Sandman on Netflix. I was hoping we get some sort of crossover with these characters. I thought that would be kind of cool too. Something that's not just cape shit. That I love cape shit, don't get me wrong, but something that's not cape shit, that's a crossover that gives us a bunch of fun stuff with characters who aren't flying around in costumes and stuff. I was really looking forward to that. And I'm just confused. I'm utterly confused. This doesn't help build fan loyalty and fan trust in Netflix. It just doesn't. And I know they're still top dog, but this can't help them.